Welcome to On This Day, where we look back at the moments that made history, one day at a time. From major world events to the weird and unexpected, every date has a story. So, what happened in July? Let's find out. July is one of those months where history really shows off. We've got everything from revolutions to first flights, epic discoveries to surprising milestones. Whether you're into ancient empires, space exploration, royal drama, or world-changing inventions, there's something here for everyone. So grab a seat and let's wander through some of the most interesting events that took place in July. Let's kick things off in 1776 when the United States declared independence on the 4th of July. It was a bold move that changed the course of history forever, as 13 colonies decided they'd had enough of British rule and put pen to paper to say so. It's celebrated with fireworks and parades to this day. A few years later, in 1789, France saw the storming of the Bastille on July 14th. That single act became the fiery symbol of the French Revolution. Imagine an angry crowd tearing down a fortress prison, brick by brick, determined to bring about liberty, equality, and fraternity. Bastille Day is still France's big national celebration. In 1969, the whole world watched as Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin walked on the moon on July 20th. That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind, became the most famous line in space history. It was a jaw-dropping moment that proved just how far human curiosity and technology could go. Traveling back a bit to 1540, Henry VIII of England made headlines for his personal life yet again in July. This time, he had his powerful advisor Thomas Cromwell executed and then married Catherine Howard. Tudor court drama at its finest. Ambition, betrayal, and royal romance all in one summer month. Speaking of discoveries, in 1498, Christopher Columbus spotted the island of Trinidad on his third voyage on July 31st. It added another chapter to the age of exploration, though it also signaled the start of major changes and challenges for the peoples of the Caribbean. In 1834, the British Slavery Abolition Act came into effect on July 30th, freeing thousands across the empire. It was a landmark moment in the fight for human rights, though the road to true freedom and equality would remain long and difficult. Over in Japan, July 29, 1858, marked the signing of the Harris Treaty. It opened trade between the U.S. and Japan, ending Japan's long period of isolation and ushering in rapid modernization that would change the country forever. Let's not forget July 1st, 1867, when Canada officially became a dominion through Confederation. It was the birth of the country as we know it today, celebrated each year as Canada Day with fireworks, music, and lots of maple leaf flags. In 1948, something big happened in India on July 30th. The princely order was abolished, fully integrating former kingdoms into the Democratic Republic. It was a major step in unifying a newly independent nation with countless cultures and histories. Love discovering what happened on this day in history? Hit subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you never miss an upload. Jumping to the skies, on July 25, 1909, Louis Blériot became the first person to fly across the English Channel in an airplane. It was a daring feat at the time, and it showed the world that powered flight wasn't just a novelty, it was the future. Another aviation milestone happened on July 30th, 1923, with the launch of HMS Argus, the world's first full-length aircraft carrier. It changed naval strategy forever, bringing planes to the high seas and transforming how wars were fought. In 1965, U.S. President Lyndon B. Johnson signed the Social Security Amendments on July 30th, creating Medicare and Medicaid. It was a massive step toward giving millions of Americans access to health care, and it still shapes the system today. If you like space stories, you'll love July 31st. 1964, when NASA's Ranger 7 spacecraft sent back the first close-up photos of the moon's surface. Those images paved the way for the Apollo missions and humans actually walking on the moon just 5 years later. And speaking of the moon, on July 31st, 1971, Apollo 15 astronauts took the first ever ride in the lunar rover. It might have looked a bit bumpy, but it let them explore much farther than ever before, making it one of the most memorable moonwalks in history. Let's not forget July 26, 1945, when the United States, Britain, and China issued the Potsdam Declaration. It called for Japan's unconditional surrender in World War II, a moment that signaled the approaching end of one of history's deadliest conflicts. Or July 18, 1918, when Nelson Mandela was born. Though not a single event on one day, his birthday is celebrated worldwide, especially in South Africa as Mandela Day. A reminder to spend time helping others in honor of his lifelong fight for justice and equality. And on July 11, 1960, Harper Lee's classic novel, To Kill a Mockingbird, was published. It's been read by millions and praised for its honest look at racial injustice and childhood in the American South, making July even richer with cultural milestones. That's what happened in July throughout history. Made it this far? Drop your favorite historical fact in the comments. Learn something new? Hit subscribe and come back tomorrow. You never know what the past has in store.